most of it comes from what we learn in school, that our childhood and our background does influence our behavior and thinking. It depends on how they were raised. Do they have morals and values? Can they feel empathy towards another and make good choices?
My name is Christian Ayala Rojas. I am 23.
I'm Leah Perkins. I'm 19.
My name's Nicholas Solano. I'm 19 years old and I'm a college student at FAU.
My name is Matthew Feinstein. I'm a graduate of FAU and I'm helping Jillian out in the school project.
I've never heard of those. Like, I personally don't. Like, if anyone were to talk to me about it, I'd be like silent the entire time.
I don't think so.
They can lead to other interesting questions more than they do the answers, but the questions are why you ask them in the first place.
I am familiar.
That's a really good question. I actually would go with the dream job, even though you don't get paid a lot. The reason being is because I was taught that if you're doing something that you love, you don't work a day in your life. So basically, the entire time, I wouldn't be working for an entire time. I mean, granted, I won't get paid, but I'd still love. But if I did the other job, I'd hate every single moment to a point I want to kill myself.
I would choose my dream job, and hopefully, if I stay there long enough, because I really like it, I'll get promoted.
I'd probably go with my dream job, just because I still want to at least I want to like what I'm doing.
The dream job with zero hesitancy. I have always believed that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, and that money will come.
I will enjoy living paycheck to paycheck, and I'll deal with that consequence.
If I could catch up to them, I'd probably grab the wallet and give it to them. If not, then I'd probably just hand it over to the police department.
I would want someone to do the same thing if I love the whole treat others as you want to be treated. And so if I drop my wallet, I'd want it returned. So I would do the same for somebody else.
I just know what I do, or at least what I'm taught to do. Just call the number if there's even a license in there.
I pick up the wallet and then go through the little thing from SpongeBob. Is this your ID? After this little conversation or whatever, his speech or whatever's going on happens, I would just kind of pull them aside and let them know.
I don't want to start drama. I just keep my mouth shut, and then if a close friend of mine is there, I tell them my experience.
While it might not bother me in that moment, it's something that I would think about within the next couple of days or would randomly come up, and I'd realize it would bother me. So I think moving forward, kind of like I said, conflict doesn't really bother me. Although I don't want to upset somebody, I think I want to get better at, making a comment right in that moment and say, hey, I really don't appreciate what you said there, and explain why.
I would probably, if I'm not in a rush, I would listen to what they have to say if they're nice about it.
Most of the time, I would accept the pamphlet and allow them to speak whatever they wanted to. But I'm not one to comment on it, so I would just say that I appreciate their viewpoint, but I would take the flyer and just kind of move on about my day.
I would just listen. Like, I'll listen to them, but then I'll just turn off my brain automatically. I'll be like, I'm like, okay, gotta go. And then I'm like, what did he say? It doesn't matter, I didn't hurt him at least. Because I hate hurting them, but I'm like, I'll listen to them, but I won't listen at the same time.
This has actually happened to me before, multiple times. And I usually grab the flyer and listen to them and then walk away when they're done.
I was just taught some Christian values, and I don't know if this was religious, but my parents just taught me, I got to do the right thing.
Faith is important to me. I think it's really important to have something to believe in when you don't believe in a lot. I would not use it. Like, I would so fast not use it. I would scoop it up and take it to NASA and get paid bank for discovering a time machine.
personally, I live through my mistakes. I know I wouldn't change them. There are times where I screwed up royally, but then I make up for it to a point I'm like, I wouldn't change a thing in this past. At least I learned something.
1000% I would use it without question, for sure. So I've actually thought about this question a lot for some reason, but I'm really big into like 80s, 90s hard rock and metal. So I would want to go back to the mid 80s when Metallica was releasing new albums on vinyl at record stores. And I would love to like go back when the Black Album came out, to stand outside the store and wait in line for the album to drop to hear it for the first time on vinyl. That would be like a really, really cool thing for me.
I probably wouldn't go back to the past, because I don't think you can actually change anything in the past. So
My name is Wendy Bertino. I've been working in the field of mental health and substance abuse since 1991. I've worked in treatment facilities for substance abuse, inpatient setting in the Florida State Prison System, as well as outpatient. I've also worked with abused children who are under the supervision of the Department of Children and Families. I've always liked helping other people and realized early on I really enjoyed working with the underprivileged populations or people who have been in some form of trauma.
I wouldn't really change much about my childhood.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like I know that, you know, a lot of people will say the exact opposite, but I had a really good childhood.
My upbringing was really well off, I think, compared to some other, most others.
I definitely don't take that for granted, and I'm very, very fortunate for what I had growing up.
Anything that happens, I'm very grateful, because most of it is thanks to my parents and my upbringing and what they've been able to do and support me.
The majority of the clients I had, they usually come from an environment where there was some form of abuse and neglect. They have a very low self-esteem, limited supervision from the parental authority, have very limited insight into themselves or life in general. Most of the time, there is a recurring theme of low socioeconomical status, come from poor neighborhoods where there's a tendency to be more gang violence and crime. And the quickest way to make money, of course, is through selling drugs. Most of it comes from what we learn in school, that our childhood and our background does influence our behavior and thinking. And when we don't have anybody being a good role model and teaching us how to do that, we don't formulate the skills necessary.
It taught me to like put life in perspective and realize that maybe the person that was next to me that wasn't as happy was going through something, different than I was, and was dealing with hardships that maybe I wasn't. So I would definitely say like happy upbringing, good upbringing, and it shaped me into the person that I am today.
They say, oh, I'm going to do this differently because my parents did this, and then I kind of note it in my head of, okay, that makes sense, that's something not to do. Even if it's something that I wouldn't ever see myself doing, it's kind of, okay, it impacts someone greatly, so let me make sure that I don't ever put that onto my child.
Well, to back up, part of the reason why I got into the field was because of my own struggles with mental health, depression, low self-esteem, which in turn led me to use substances. And then through the journey of getting to know myself and making changes and getting clean and sober, I realized I wanted to get into the field to help other people who were struggling. I always let everyone know it doesn't matter when you get to the point, You just get to the point and you make the changes in your life and you just keep moving forward.